Hello, hello, and welcome back to Sprout from the Darkness. And this is Gypsy Nix. I have some Palo Santo right here, and I am just cleansing this space and cleansing this area. Let me just move this over here. It's in my face. Let's put it right here. Okay, then. Like I promised you in the video yesterday, in the little introduction, I am going to give a brief rundown. I don't know how brief, I say brief, but like it's been a lot that I've been going through. So I think maybe get comfortable, get something to drink, get to snack, something to partake in whatever festivities you like when you get comfortable. So yes, where have Gypsy gone in between 2019 when I started this page and boom, here 2024, now that we've just like supernova'd out from the shadows again, from my shell and from my mad scientist lab that I mentioned in my very first IGTV. Is on my Instagram, Gypsy _I am JYPZE _ IAM. Okay, so go check me out if you'd like to, follow the journey between the integration of Gypsy Nix and Lucia Lilith. So 2019, let's back up. December 5th, 2018, as some are aware, I got arrested for conspiracy, 2 sex trafficking charges in Springfield, Massachusetts, and in Connecticut across state lines. So therefore, I got arrested and was facing 25 to life. I got arrested and I was facing 25 to life. And then I went to Wyatt Federal Detention Center. Now let's just get a little pause. I'll try not to make little breaks in between the story, but it happens, and you're just gonna have to bear with me on this page and stay with me here now, okay? Anyways, so I will make videos about the backstory, and eventually over time it will be all discussed and disclosed what had all led up into me getting arrested at 33 December 5th, 2018 for 2 counts of conspiracy to sex trafficking charges, because that's a whole lot of chapters to discuss, a whole lot of lifetimes. I'm not sure whoever's seen the new Puss in Boots, where he has like 9 lives and death is chasing him and they're all after the magic star. Well, he gets to see each one of his lives in like an icicle figure. And so yeah, that's how I feel looking back at my life sometimes. And my soul chose this, and I know, and I have the awareness and the awakening and the remembering of what this is and what I'm here for. And I don't know exactly how it all unfolds. I don't remember that part of the contract yet. I do know that I'm here for a special purpose, and that this was all boot camp and training for that purpose. And now it's time to start said purpose. So here we are. And yeah, so all the seeds in the greenhouse are starting to sprout, little sproutlings appearing. And so thank you for joining, and thank you for watering them and me with your love and nurturing and just support and feedback, and joining this page and joining and engaging and interacting together, sharing knowledge, sharing seeds, spreading them out all around the world. And that's what I would love. And because I know that we've all had trauma, and I know that we're all trying to overcome it and be more conscious about it, and are healing, and we really want to ascend and elevate. And we know that what we've been taught was a lie, and what we're here for is more than this, and life is supposed to be more than this, and we didn't come here for this. But anyway, so yeah, I'll make a whole video about all this. I'm rambling, went left. Let me bring it back on track. So, yeah, I went and got arrested December 5th, 2018, went to federal detention center Wyatt in Rhode Island for 30 days. They called me the hermit in there because, like, typical Virgo is the hermit of the zodiac tarot. Virgo is the tarot. Okay, Virgo is the hermit in tarot. That's what I'm trying to say. Virgo is the hermit in tarot. Boom. Okay, listen. I think as I get used to this, it might get a little easier. I mean, tell me how I'm doing. Pretty well, I think. But I'm a rambler. And especially, like I said in the intro, I don't really have too many people to talk to except, like, my therapist and you guys. So, like, here we are. Get the tea ready because, yo. Anyways, so then after I came out of Wyatt, I went into the CSS, which is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's before the halfway house. It's after a detox, but I didn't go to detox. I went to jail. So it's like an in-between where you can't really leave. You are finding placement basically in between the next transition. So I was there, and then I went to my sister's house. It's a halfway house in Springfield, and I was there from the beginning of 2019. Started going to groups, started going to therapy, started going to AA and AA meetings, and I was definitely going through a lot with my children and not being able to see them, and just that's a whole nother episode. I'll get into a whole nother episode with my children and the sacrifice I had to make of sacrificing reunification to give them a life and opportunities that I couldn't, and I thought that I had, and I thought that I was doing, and I was in my sick and suffering, and I was in my amygdala hijack is what it's called clinically, mental health clinically. So I was in survival mode. I was in my fight or flight, and I was trying to do my best living in survival mode my entire life. I have basically raised myself like, left a home, blah, blah, blah. That's another episode of my teenage years. So, yeah, anyways, just learning this whole new way of life, violating. I got shipped off to Fall River because my mental health was out of the scope of range of my sister's house. And so I went to Fall River for a little bit. I got kicked out of there because I was supposed to not have a cell phone, and I don't know, I was borrowing somebody's phone from a meeting, and I was outside using it, and they fucking just, they kicked me out from that. But, God always works in mysterious ways, because I ended up going to Boston, which I loved it, and I was at the Ava's house in South End, Boston. It was beautiful, and we had seasoned survivors coming in, and I had my own room for the first time in the entire year of 2019. I had my own room, and I was super excited. And at the other place, at my sister's house, you can only leave from certain time of the day, and you had to go with the van and, with the group. And here at my Ava's house in Boston, I can leave from the morning to curfew at night. All day, free ranging in Boston. It was great. And I went to the YWCA, to the YMCA. I went to the YMCA to work out. And I went to the Moms Project, which is right by Mass Ave, which is right by Methadone Alley, which is like, y'all comment below. That was crazy. It was like one of those harm prevention places where you will be able to use needles and stuff, get stuff like that. People were selling, nodding, all types of craziness going on right there. We're trying to go upstairs to our program and stuff, and do our outpatient therapy stuff and programs and groups, but such is life, and we pray for the sick and suffering, because if we didn't get to that level of hell, It's only a yet, and by the grace of God. So, yeah, then from Boston, from the Ava's house, I got approved for a single room occupancy at the YWCA in Cambridge, and it was fancy. And I got this right here by Lucky's in Boston and Cambridge. This right here, and I had this dermo before, and I had it here. All of them rejected, but not this. So Lucky's in Boston. That's where is that lasted out of 3 other different ones. This is the 4th, only one that lasted. Check out Lucky's in Boston anyways. So, yeah. So then after I went to the YWCA, I got my own single room occupancy. And you just had to share a bathroom, and you had to share a kitchen, and I did get my own room. It was locked. It was subsidized, but there was staff still at the front door. I could come and go whenever I want, though. There was no curfew. I could completely fucking go in and out whenever I want. And so I took advantage of that. And, yeah, then the pandemic happened, and 2020, was between Virginia and ATL, and that's a whole nother thing that we get into another time. And that was a crazy year. 2020 was a lot of growth. I got into a domestic violence relationship and just kind of went back into a really dark place. And thankfully for my cousin, who's like a sister to me, I shot her out a tiny on my Instagram. I made a post about her. She's tagged in a few of my post on Instagram, so check her out. Maybe I think I put her Instagram tag in the description below if anybody wants to go I don't know, show love, but don't be weird. She has a whole family. Like, I don't know, maybe I won't do that. Like, anyways, but yeah. So then I came back home, and that was around the beginning of 2021. Actually it was around the end, around Christmas of it was around Christmas of 2020. I got back involved with my middle son, who is 12 years old, and I got involved back in his life, and I was still living a double life. I was still using on the side. I was still a lot, not on the side, like all raging low-key habit, but like probably not so low-key. Like, we all think, every addict thinks it's low-key, and everyone is like, we freaking are. It's obvious. We know that you're freaking not doing well, man. But so yeah, then I ended up having a suicide attempt in the beginning of March, in the beginning of around Mother's Day of 2021. I had a suicide attempt, and I was in Bay State Hospital in Springfield, Mass for about a week, and then I went into a respite, and then I came out, and then I went on the run, and I went ripping and running, and then I turned myself in summer of 2021, and I felt like a complete asshole and piece of shit because I just hurt my son again, and I was like, this cannot happen again. So I got my shit together, and I stopped with the fucking distractions, because the first time I was at my sister's house, I was all about the boys. Like, I was ridiculous with going through the boys at the programs, honestly. Like, my first time, my sponsor said, that doesn't show up sex and taking ourselves out of ourselves physically, doesn't show up on a drug test, and it's just another way that we get that dopamine without the fucking drugs. And I got focused. I signed up for Mass Hire. Mass Hire is like a job search company place. They, we did this path to empowerment class, and it was basically teaching you how to do a resume and job interview skills and applying and all these different things, and they paid you for it. And so cover letters, thank you letters, so you do this class and they pay you for it. So I did that, and then after I did that, then I did the customer service through them, and I got paid for that as well. So I just did all these things. I ended up looking for an apartment, and yeah, got my apartment in March. Around February 2021, no, around February 2022 is when I signed up for my degree, which I'm almost done with, and it's for a associates in human services, because I started around October volunteering at the YWCA in Springfield, and that is a nonprofit I used to live at in 2012 at the domestic violence shelter. I used to live there when my oldest, who is now almost 17, he was 5, and my 12-year-old was 2 weeks old. And so I was there, and the way that God works in my life is so synchronistic and nothing is coincidental, is that I was hired there full-time because I started volunteering, and then I got hired part-time every other weekend, and then I got hired full-time. And the day I got hired full-time was in March of 2022, and that was exactly 10 years on the date of me becoming a client there as a domestic violence client with those 2 children. Exactly 10 years later, now I'm hired full-time there as a domestic violence advocate. I mean, it's just God things. It really is. Okay, and then I get my apartment in March. of 2022. I got transferred to becoming a human trafficking adult support specialist, and that was in around, I don't know, summer of 2022 or something like that, somewhere around there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so I was going through all these different positions at the YWCA. So between that position and then that one closed because of the grant. They didn't get accepted for a grant extension. So then I went to the domestic violence and sexual assault counselor there, and it was really great, but it was very draining for me because I had my own trauma that I was still processing with, and I was still dealing with so much with my own family, my aunt and my mother, my karmic mother, whatever you want to call her. Anyways, that's a whole probably 5 episodes on them, but I mean, I love my auntie and I do love my mother too, and they mean their best, I suppose. But yeah, my aunt has really been an angel to me, though. Anyways, I'm sidetracking again. So, 2023 was crazy because, so I got transferred to become the domestic violence sexual assault counselor in the beginning of 2023. I did that all the year of 2023, dealing with that. That was so heavy. We would be on call. We would be on a rotating on-call schedule, and then there would be survivors of victims of sexual assault situations, and they would go to the hospital and they would get a rape kit done, and we would be there for emotional support and talk about the services and the counseling that we provide there at the YWCA of Western Mass in Springfield, Massachusetts. So, and I'm so grateful for the experience there. That really ignited my passion, and now I know that I'm going to go forward with psychology. I've already been accepted for my bachelor's in Westfield State in the fall for psychology, so that I'm going to work on my doctorate for trauma therapist. And I have a passion for neuroscience and the way it all works in the brain and rewiring the brain. And I really like metaphysics and the correlation between all of it actually together. And of course, bringing it to it's all quantum physics in the end. It's all energy. So, yeah, I guess that's where we are now. It's been 20 minutes and I don't think I'm going to ramble on anymore. Comment below if you have any questions. And, yeah, cheerio. Mwah.